Okay guys, welcome to another shop update. Kind of why I'm over here showing you the computer is because it's been a couple of weeks since I posted a shop update. I've got a lot of material, but the problem is the computer broke. The new computer broke. Didn't really break. The charging plug, somehow the charging plug got messed up and you couldn't plug it in, it wouldn't charge. So I had my grandson actually fix it, and so we're back online again. Yeah, I've got a bunch of material. Let's start off with the truck. Okay, I'm in here in the shop, and as you can see, I got the truck up on the lift. What I'm having issues with, and I think I've mentioned this before, what I'm having issues with is, yeah, I had a light here someplace. Hang on a minute. Sorry. This is the air compressor and tank module. It's a Firestone Air system. And I'm having the same problems with this again. I can't get it to work. Now, luckily, what I did is I had airbags installed in the truck before I got that Firestone air compressor. And what I did is I just had two fill ports in the back where I could pump it up with a air pump. Yeah, I left those air ports in there. I actually went out and got 1/4-inch air tubing tees so that I could leave those things in there, and I'm glad I did, because I have had problems with this thing ever since the beginning. It didn't work the way I think it should have worked. And let me just explain. There's a control unit that goes with it, a remote control. And you turn it on and you can raise or lower the pressure in both airbags, or raise or lower the pressure in the right or left airbag, whatever you need to do. Right from the beginning, you had to screw around with it a little bit to get it to work right. And then after I got it, after probably a couple of months, maybe 6 months, it stopped working altogether. So what I did was contacted Firestone, told them there's a code that came up on the remote control. And what they did is they asked me for the serial number or the identification number off of the remote. And they emailed me back and says, well, it's probably this module. So they sent me a new module. I think I still have the old module around here someplace. But they sent me this new module, said that'll work. So I put the new module in, and again, I got it to work, but you've got to fight it. It's not a matter of turning the remote on and just doing it. You'll get a code, and then you got to clear it and set the pressure, and sometimes it takes and sometimes it doesn't, and I've had a problem. Well, it's to the point now where it won't work at all. So the guy I emailed the guy again. He emailed me back and he says, well, the code that you're getting now is saying that they're not communicating because there's probably no power to the module. Well, what I did is I got the meter out. I pulled this plug out of the module and metered it between the ground. There is a ground connection in here directly off the battery and a positive connection directly off the battery. I measured it between that, and I'm getting fine. It's absolutely fine. And the other thing he says, well, the remote might be too far away, or the truck could be running. So what I did is most of the time I try it without the truck running. I do it without the truck being on or off, because what I'm doing is hooking the trailer up or adjusting the trailer after I've lowered it onto the truck. I still don't have the truck running because I haven't started moving yet. I'll pump it up or pump it up usually. Don't deflate it until you take the trailer back off again, or take the load off of the trailer. But most of the time I did it without the truck running. He's saying, well, sometimes there's an ignition interference with the module. Well, again, I do it most of the time without the truck running. He says the remote might be too far away. It's in the cab. It's what, 6 feet away? No, I understand that there could be interference with body panels and stuff like that. Maybe some of the sound deadening or insulation inside the cab. But I brought the remote right here, and it still doesn't work. Sitting right here. So I just emailed him back. That's kind of why, one of the reasons I brought it in here, the truck in here. But I mean, they replaced that module right away without any problem. The problem is I'm kind of looking for a system that I don't have problems with, you know, and I can't say that I'm there with this system yet anyway, either. So the other thing that I was looking at, and the level has gone down, water in the fog lights. I'm wondering if that's what was shorting it out. I cut that wire up at the battery. Let me see, I might just jumper it and go hot and see if what the issue is with it. I had these on all the time. I mean, there's no water in the regular running lights. Why the hell does it get in here? Well, there's the reason for that one. There's a hole in the lens. But this lens appears to be good. Yeah. But anyways, let me check it out. I'll bring you back. Okay, like I told you, I was over here for two reasons, is to do this, and what I did is hot wired those two leads together, and kind of felt it. It's not getting hot anymore. So, which leads me to believe that it was the water, because those lenses were almost full of water. Now there is a little bit of residual water left in there, but it's only at the bottom. It's not where it could short between the hot and ground. Yeah, it leads me to believe that this is what the issue is. What I'm going to do is take some silicone and seal that one. I'm not sure how the hell the water's getting in this one. So what I did is, I'm cutting this video short. I went ahead and put a fuse connection in that thing, wired it back up again. I still haven't done anything with them lenses because I don't know what it is. I've had this issue with those lenses in the past. Now, I have those running lights on there, don't have any issues with those lenses. But again, it seems like them amber lenses on those fog lights for some reason leak and break all the time. So I've got to figure it out whether I keep them and fix the lenses or replace the that style of light. I'm not sure, but I'll let you know in the future. Okay, as was discussed in the last shop update, I plan on keeping this roll cart and not opt to go for the other roll cart that has the sliding tops on it. So I'm just going to show you some brief clips of me kind of getting it together, putting the drawer liners and stuff like that in it, and I'll bring you back. I'm not going to do a toolbox tour. I'm just going to show you some brief clips of different things that I've done to it. We'll do a tour of it after it's all completed and all the tools are in it. Okay, I'm over here to the box, and what I did is I just took some cleaner that you see sitting on top of that and cleaned the top off. And what I'm going to do now is affix this mat that goes onto the top of it. The top of the toolbox. It just is a protective means, and the magnetic trays will stick through the top of it, but I want to get that on there just to have some added protection to it. Okay, so what we're going to jump into here is I just wanted to show you, I got a couple of mounts for the side of that tool cart. Logically, the top one is for impacts or drills or whatever you want to. So, you know, I've got an air impact, 3/8 impact, and then this 1/4 inch impact, but you know, I could change it up whatever I want to. And the bottom one is for cans. Now I plan on getting a couple of more things for it, but I'll bring you back and show that to you when I do it. These aren't what I told you that I would bring you back about. I'm talking about I'm going to get some more of these things for the other side. Get some more rails and more of these things for the other side. But I also got those magnetic trays, so that I can throw tools or that I have out and want to put in there. and still be able to pick the top up to get at the batteries or pry bars or stuff. And again, this stuff won't fall out. But anyways, I just kind of thought I'd show that to you. So let's move on to some other stuff. One of the other things that I did pick up was a cordless grease gun. I got it at Napa. Napa had it on sale, and I was actually able to talk the guy in Napa to bring it down a little more than was on sale. Could I have gotten this thing online cheaper? Yeah, I could have. But I gotta tell you, I like supporting local places. Now, I could have gotten it online cheaper for probably $20, $30, but again, I kind of like to support local businesses, so that's what I did, and I bought it at Napa. Yeah, I paid a little more, but so be it. Okay, as you've seen in other shop updates, I got this. My grandson actually found this under a place that he was remodeling. It's a Duff Norton 35-ton jack, and I'm trying to get it. I got it working, but I haven't got the ratchet thing to work on it. I can spin that in a 360-degree circle, and it raises and lowers it depending on which way you're spinning it, but I haven't got that ratchet to work. So I'm going to get into a little bit of what I tried to do with this thing here. I'm just over here to the welding bench again, and I've got that jack, and what I've been doing is trying to figure out how to get this thing off. I actually had to cut that cotter pin off of there, and I couldn't get it out. I couldn't get it to move. I tried everything with it. It broke. I tried drilling down a little ways and punching it, and it wouldn't come out. So what I did is I just took a cut-off wheel and cut the thing off, and took a file and made sure that it was down below the surface of it. And I've got this Mac tool. It's actually a bearing pulley puller on there, because it's hard to get opposite sides of this thing. So it's just caught a little bit on there. And what I'm doing is trying to pull it off using this thing. But I'll bring you back and let you know if I have any success. No, what happened is it slipped off. Again, because you can't get actually opposite sides of this thing, there is no opposite sides on it. And because of the way that it's designed, or the way that it's curved, there is no opposite side. So all I can do is, I can get a good side on this, but when it comes over here, it's right on the edge. So when you put torque on it, the foot just slips off of the thing. But anyways, I'll figure something out to get it off. Might have to heat it up and try and get it off that way, but I'll let you know how I make out with it. So in the last clip, I kind of told you that I had no luck with that Mac puller because you can't actually get opposite sides of this thing because of the way it's shaped. So it just kept slipping off. I told you that I would probably try and heat it. Well, the chisel's in here. I tried to heat it and get it to come off. Had no success to it. But what I'm going to do is keep trying to heat it, keep trying to get lubricant in there so that it penetrates in between that shaft and the housing for the gear. Try and get it off that way. I have to get that thing off so that I can get that gear cleaned up, get this thing apart to get that gear out of there, get that gear cleaned up so that it ratchets into that pawl. But again, no big hurry on this thing. I have all the time in the world. I don't have to use it for anything specific right away, so I'm just going to try and clean it up, get it working, and see where we go from there. Okay, so I usually don't talk about hauls, but then again, I'm usually hauling the same thing: steel, rebar, generators, stuff like that. And as you guys know, if you follow my channel, I do sometimes haul cars or trucks, vehicles, stuff like that. I did get a vehicle that I had to haul for a guy that I've hauled for a couple of times before, and had to take it out to Illinois. It's a Ford. It was an older Ford pickup, 77, I think, Ford pickup, F-150, four-wheel drive, standard transmission. It went to a place in Illinois that I'm going to throw some pics over there of the truck on the trailer. But it went to a place in Illinois. He sold it, this guy that I picked it up from sold it to, let's not call him a dealer, let's call him a restorer of Ford trucks. He specializes in Broncos, and he makes new frames and rebuilds these Broncos and sells them for a good buck. But this wasn't a Bronco, but he also does these older style Ford pickups also. But again, I threw some pics over there, and I just thought you guys might be interested in that haul. So let's move on to the truck. So back at it again, the parasitic draw. One of the things that they tell you to do before you do the parasitic draw is make sure the batteries are good. Well, I tried to do a parasitic draw, and I come up with nothing. So what I did is I got this battery tester from Mac Tools. Of course, Mac Tools. And what it does is it'll check, load check the battery, and tell you whether it's good or bad or needs to be recharged. So up until the time that I took this cover off of, this thing was charging. So what I did is this battery, if I haven't explained it to you before, this battery's positive terminal goes back in on a separate lead from those two batteries back there. And I kind of said I don't know why that's doing that. Some people say, well, it might join up later on. And let me get back to that. And other people say, well, this could be, the one battery could be supplying the computer module. So let me explain to you. I disconnected this battery and then put the meter on the lead, and I was getting like 11.5 volts back through it. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of weird, but maybe if it does go to the computer module, it's that's where it's coming from. Somehow it's back feeding into it from the computer module. So what I did is, let me explain one other thing before I tell you what I did. I tried to go under the truck before and figure it out, and it is in wire loom. And what happens is those wire looms co-join and go into a bigger wire loom, and you really can't figure out where the hell it's going unless you pulled out the wire loom and tried to figure it out that way. But let me tell you what I did. I disconnected the positive off of the 2 rear batteries, and I checked that one over there first, and it says oh, it said to recharge it. There was a little over 11.6 volts in it. And then I looked at this one and did the same thing and tested it, and it's down. I forgot the cranking amps on that thing. This thing is down to like 11.4 volts, and it said to recharge it, but it only had like 200 cranking amps, 279, or let's say 300. But what I'll do, I'm pretty sure these batteries are bad. It's kind of a given at this point that these damn batteries are bad. So what I'm going to do is try and go out and see what new batteries are going to cost for this thing, so that I can start with new batteries. Because again, up until the point that I took this cover off of, which was probably less than half an hour ago, that thing, I had it plugged in, and it had been plugged in for days, so it should have been fully charged. Now, it should have been fully charged because I backed this truck in here 2 or 3 days ago, and had it running for a while before I backed it in here because it was cold. Drove it around a little bit and then backed it in here. So it should have been fully charged to begin with, but then I plugged it in, so it should have maintained that charge. So I've got to assume we've got bad batteries. And maybe we don't have a parasitic draw. Maybe it's just the batteries, because they're bad, are going down and discharging on me. So let me go out, see what I can do about new batteries. So there's the bottom of the battery tray or battery box, and there was a couple of rust spots where it was the paint was bubbled up a little bit, but really it isn't in bad shape at all. I just hit it with a wire wheel, and what I'm going to do is just throw a little Rust-Oleum on it. Yeah, I know, Rust-Oleum, but I don't want to break the spray gun out for something this small and have to clean it up. Okay, well, there it is after I rattle canned it with Rust-Oleum. Yeah, and here's the cross member that goes across the top of the batteries after I rattle canned it with Rust-Oleum. Okay, so there they are. 3 new batteries. I went to Napa, got them at Napa. Let me just say that a couple of weeks ago I had gone down to my local trailer supplier, parts supplier for trailers, to buy some lights for my trailer. Replacement lights, those little 3/4 inch LED lights. I had a couple burned out, but when I was down there, they had truck batteries there on sale. Well, they didn't have them on sale. They had truck batteries there, but they were made in Korea. Well, it turned out they were made in Korea. I asked the guy how much they were to begin with, and they were $104 a piece. I think they were 950 cranking amps, cold cranking amps on them. But again, they were made in Korea, I found out. I asked him, he says, tell you the truth, I kind of forgot. I don't remember where they were made. So I pulled one of the batteries out and started looking at it, and it was made in Korea. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a bad battery. I just didn't know about it. You know what I mean? So I went to Napa, and I got these batteries. Now, They're supposed to be made in the US, but yeah, they are. Lion Station, Pennsylvania. There are 1,000 cranking amps. He had 2 of them in stock. He had to bring one in. He had it to me within 2 hours last night. But I paid approximately $115 $120 a piece for these things. Now that doesn't include tax, but nor did the $104 price that I had gotten on those Korean batteries. So yeah, there they are. I'll be putting them in. Not sure it'll be in this video, but I'll be putting them in. Okay guys, so here they are in there. I'm not going to show you hooking them up. I'm going to be hooking them up, but what I am going to come back about with them probably in the next video or shop update video will be whether this is the cause of the batteries going dead all of the time was just because they were bad. So what I'm going to do, hook them up, going to take the truck outside, park it outside, and you know, a couple of days from now see if it will start, see if the batteries are staying up. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, share it if you want to.